What's going on, everybody? Welcome to GmiasWorld. Today we're going to be talking about a mistake that's going to cost you, specifically an Ultimate Team, even if you play regs. Let me just kind of break it down to you. The Fearmonger Superstar X-Factor ability has been scaring people. It's like the first Avengers before they did the Endgame when Thanos was just ape and he just went wild, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like the one right before Endgame. That's what most of you guys are comparing Aaron Donald to. But I don't want you to make this mistake because Fearmonger is good, but Unstoppable Force can be really, really good. And we're going to be looking at a couple of things throughout this video. I'm showing you guys right now what this is, but we're going to also look at Cameron Jordan later and kind of detail some of the things with Unstoppable Force and kind of give you guys some insight into it. All right, now, when you are building your team, it is very, very important that you understand exactly what we could actually do to make your team better, especially for MUT, okay? If you feel, let me just point this out, right? If you feel that Fearmonger is too difficult for you to get 3 sacks, which is the requirement at this point. Now remember, the abilities and the trigger conditions are subject to change, all right? So right now, that means it could take less. But at the point of when we played the actual beta, you needed 3 sacks to get Fearmonger. Now, look, let's go. Let's go right over to the other thing with Unstoppable Force. Say you're playing a guy like the Patriots. Say you're playing the Patriots. Because remember, if you're going regs, you're going to have to plan accordingly to the team that you're playing. It's no longer like, you know what? I'm going to come out here, I'm just going to pick a team, and I don't really care. You're going to have to base it, in my opinion, on the person that you're playing. Now, with the beta, we only had 4 teams to choose from. When everybody can choose every one of the single teams in the NFL, all 32, it's going to be very, very strategic now. So if you guys go out there and you're like, you know what? Fearmonger's where it's at, yo. I'm running Fearmonger. I'm going to tell you guys right now, bro, that might be a big mistake because it's very, very difficult to kind of gauge that he will be the guy to get the sacks. Because just because he gets an enormous amount of pressure, that does not mean that he's going to be the guy that's going to be able to actually get the sack. It'll probably be the players around him. Let me point it out like this to you, right? When I used the Rams, this is what was happening in the beta. Like, even though he was getting a lot of pressure, what happens is the center and the guards, when he was going crazy, because he always has pass rush elite, he always has under pressure, the offensive line was paying so much attention to him. Other dudes, Clay Matthews was getting off, it was getting wild, like dudes was coming in, right? So it was becoming it was wild, but he wasn't the one getting the sacks. So depending on what you're trying to do, Unstoppable Force can be a very, very good thing to choose as well. And it's a whole bunch of different trigger conditions. And in my opinion, it's a little bit easier to get those. You see what I'm saying? So, because all you got to really do is pressure the quarterback, get the pressure to come up, and those are triggering conditions for it to activate. Now, Aaron Donald is going to be Aaron Donald. And I want to point out to you guys that he's probably going to be even more OP in MUT. So for those of you guys that are in franchises and you use regular teams and stuff like that, it may not be that big of a deal after the first season, because in the draft, you'll probably get a player that's suitable, that's just like him or whatever. You'll be able to do different things. But in the overall, picture of what's going to be happening in Madden 20, you're going to have to make sure that the players that you choose, it makes sense based on your scheme and whatever you're trying to do. Like if for me, right, let me point it out for you guys. For those of you guys that haven't watched me on Twitch yet, twitch.tv/GmiasWorld. You guys can also look in the description box for more information on becoming a member on my YouTube channel. Definitely go and follow me on Twitter at GmiasWorld as well, because I am going to be answering some Madden 20 questions very soon. I will tweet out when I am available to do so. But listen, this is the biggest thing that I want you guys to understand. If you go ahead and you base your team based on Aaron Donald and you base it on Fearmonger, and you start to realize that it's very, very difficult for he himself to get the sacks. Because put it like this, if dudes start IDing the mic and they make him the mic, the line is not as stupid as it was in Madden 19. I'm trying to tell you guys this. Like, pretty much, if you ID Aaron Donald wherever he is, he's going to get a lot of attention paid to him, so much so that other people are going to have to make a play. And then you may have to step up in the pocket. Depending on the quarterback you have, you may have to use escape artists. You may have to do a lot of different things that will make you be able to survive what these guys are trying to do to you. And that's what the beauty of the game is. That's ultimately what makes this game so much more different than the games of the past. And that's what I need you guys to understand. So if you make the mistake of thinking that, okay, I'm getting Fearmonger, and then once I get Fearmonger, it's on. Also remember, it's very, very easy to throw a drag. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that they play, like, I'm going to tell you this much. The flats actually play the flats, at least in the beta. So if they don't adjust too much, that's going to be a huge upgrade for Madden 19. So if you get guys that just want to run flats everywhere, you know, drag routes everywhere and all kind of crossers, you'll be good if it's underneath because the players will play it, but you'll give up the over the top. Very, very easy to get passing yards and knock him right out of his zone. All right. Unstoppable force though, most of the players, they continuously do exactly what it says that they're doing, no matter what. Like if you guys use the Saints during the beta like I did when I was experimenting, you'll notice that Cameron, like he was wild, bro. Like it was like, bro, what's this guy doing right now? Like it was really, really crazy what was going on with him. And these are the things that I need you guys to understand. If you guys go after Fearmonger and that's your thing, I don't know how to really explain this to you, but remember, if you once you get to the MUT aspect of Madden, that's going to be very, very costly for you because you're taking away the opportunity to give it to other players that may be better suited for what you're trying to do, especially if you're sending pressure every single down. Like every single down, I'm sending my entire team, my coach, the GM, the cheerleaders, I'm sending everyone. So remember, just because this guy has that as his X factor, it's not necessarily true that he's going to actually be able to get it during the actual gameplay. But is he a better player than you know, these other players that have these other factors? Of course he is. It's Aaron Donald. But his one thing may not be what you need. You see, like why not use Von Miller? Von Miller has Fearmonger also, but remember, because he's an outside linebacker, you might get more pressure and put like more hefty D tackles in the middle. Get those big, heavy guys in the middle and have a dude off the edge with that kind of speed and that awareness come and do it. You see what I'm saying? Like it's so many different ways for you to counteract this that it's ridiculous. But at the end of the day, like you have to understand that building your team to make it what it's supposed to be doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have players that go with the meta. Like he's going to be pretty much the meta. You know what I'm saying? Like Aaron Donald, he's going to be the meta. Everybody else is going to follow through. But that doesn't mean that Cameron Jordan is not somebody that you should go after. Unstoppable force. He's a run stopper, right? So look, that run stopper thing, let me just point this out. When I used the Rams, I was getting gashed on the run. Dudes were running right up the middle with Ace. It was craziness, bro. Like I couldn't believe what was going on. Like nobody was trying to stop the run. He's slower, but he's a very, very good run stopper. And he's an edge threat. Okay, so maybe those two are better to have for the entirety of the game than to have the other two that are for Aaron Donald. That's more geared toward getting after the quarterback and not really giving you the run stopper aspect. Because remember, it's all about balance. So if you have somebody that understands that and comes out and runs an offense where he keeps you guessing and he's running the ball, then he's passing the ball, those type of things are going to aggravate you because you can't warp into the players. I didn't warp into anybody. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like when you're trying to go up the middle and then like, even though the guy is getting blocked, he warped into you. That didn't happen in Madden 20's beta. Now, again, I'm going based on what I'm telling you now. If the game changes and they ruin it, I will point it out and I will show it to you because I'm not trying to go through this again for another year. And I think that EA understands that people are really, really on the brink of going crazy. So they're not going to make it wild. Like the beta has very, very good points about it, but all of us are nervous about them patching the game because nothing good ever comes from them patching the game. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at these other star abilities with the run stopper and the edge threat, this could be better suited for you overall. Now, he may not be as good as Aaron Donald. And I'm not saying that if you're playing MUT and you pull this guy, that and you pull Aaron Donald, that you sell Aaron Donald for Cameron Jordan. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it's different ways to be able to do it, to make your defense better, to put the players in position that's going to ultimately get you that victory. That's what my point is. And I can tell you from experience, that run stopper is much better than the star ability that Aaron Donald has. But Fearmonger is just unbelievable because when I got it, he was just pushing the whole pile. So it's like a balance with it. But again, if you get a guy that's a psychopath that wants to run tosses, he wants to run up the middle, all that stupid foolishness that he wants to do, then he wants to run play action like a moron. If all those things is what he's doing, it's going to be very, very difficult to have a pass rushing defender like Aaron Donald that all he wants to do is just rush the passer and you're trying to run the ball because they'll take him out of the play. So that's pretty much what I wanted to point out, because you guys wanted me to explain it a little bit more to why I'm not really sold as much on Fearmonger over Unstoppable Force. You know, Cameron Jordan, Myles Garrett, these guys have it. Calais Campbell. I don't know. I may be going another way. Will you make this mistake? Let me know. Leave it in the comments. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.